Hey everyone, it's the TheAngryHoneyBadger, and it's time for us to take a look at a champion build video today. We're going to be playing as Malphite in top lane, and the beginning of this game is going to be incredibly sped up for the most part because not a lot happens. We both kind of farm a lot, and my team feeds a lot, so that's going to be fun to work out in the long run, so we're going to do that. So, starting at the beginning of the game, depending on who you're going up against in top lane, against an AD character like Rengar, I'm going to go ahead and take cloth armor pots and maybe a mana pot if you want, because Malphite does eat through his mana fairly quick if you are using abilities. So that's what I'm starting off with here. Now if you're going up against somebody who's AP, like a Zac or somebody like that, maybe an Elise, and you want to get something to help you out in that aspect, maybe start with a Crystalline Flask, and then the first trip back maybe picking up a Chalice of Harmony for the magic resist, and then you'll have infinite mana to poke back at them. So that's another option for you when you are in top lane. We'll get to the build more so in a second, but until then, we're going to go ahead and talk about our abilities while we can, while the footage is just mostly farming for now. And so let's talk about Malphite's abilities. First, there is his passive, which is his Granite Shield. Malphite's shielded by a layer of rock, which absorbs damage, which is up to 10% of his maximum health. So that's what it is. If you've been hit, or if you haven't been hit for 10 seconds, then it will regenerate fully. So when it is down, try to not take any damage from any source for 10 seconds, and then it will be back up. It's pretty nice to have, and as you scale more health on him, the bigger the shield will become. So it's pretty good in that aspect. At level 1, you're going to put a point into your Q ability, which is your Seismic Shard. Basically, you send out a shard, and it hits them. It's going to deal magic damage, and it's going to slow them by a percentage for 4 seconds, and then you get sped up because of that's what it does. Because that's what it does. That's your Seismic Shard. We're going to max this out first. Then at level 2, you're going to put a point into your E ability, which is your Ground Slam. Malphite slams the ground, dealing magic damage around him. And it's based off of ability power and total amount of armor you have. So it scales with building armor. So you're going to see a lot of armor built on all Malphites of all sorts, because it's going to scale with that ability. And it works out really well. We're going to max this out completely second. Typically. So that's what we're going to be doing. It helps clear. It also does deal good damage on the enemy if they're in your face. So just kind of remember that that is your Ground Slam. So you're going to have that as well. Then you can put points into your Brutal Strikes, which is your your W ability, excuse me, when it's, I'm going to say, convenient. I see a lot of people do this in different ways. I actually usually don't put any points into it early. It does help you push lanes, but you don't really need it super early in lane most of the time. It just uses mana. It's got a fairly long cooldown. So passively, Malphite's attacks hit under his targets, dealing a percentage of attack damage. Actively, Malphite's armor and attack damage is going to be increased for 6 seconds, scaling from 20% all the way up to 40%. So when you activate it, it is going to give you a bunch of armor and life, or a bunch of just armor and magic resist. So it does make you beefier. So if you need to put more points into it just because you're getting bullied and you need to put that up if they're diving at you, you can do that. This really comes down to personal preference once again, but if you're going for this damage, put points into your Q and into your E, which is your Ground Slam. So that is what you're looking for there. Now, before we get to his ultimate, I'll talk about a few of the trips I did back at base. If you're going up against an AD person in lane, up in top, you're going to want to probably get Ninja Tabi. That will help neglect a lot of the damage that they're doing to you, so it won't hurt as much. I'm also building towards a Sunfire Cape very early, because that's a very good first item on Malphite. Typically, you will always want to pick that up first. Like I said, if you're going up against an AP laner who's somebody doing magic damage, you might want to go with Merc Treads, and you might want to pick up that Chalice of Harmony just so you start getting some magic resist, and then start going for your Sunfire Cape. But the Cape's good because it gives you the armor, so it scales with that E ability, and it's going to give you all that health, and then that passive damage around you too. So just a really good item, something you basically always want to have. So that is something just to remember. Other than that, I have just died because Annie is super legendary right now, and she came top and killed me. But we're still speeding up this footage because, like I said, this game's boring. As you can see, it's 13-1 right now. My team is not doing very well. Luckily, the gold isn't horrible because we're farming all right. So we're trying to keep up that way. And late game Malphite, you can't really stop him. We're going to see that happen. Finally, there is his ultimate, which is his Unstoppable Force. Basically, you charge towards an area. If you hit any of the people in that area, you are going to knock them into the air, stunning them for 1.5 seconds. and you cannot be interrupted while you are using this ultimate. It's going to deal magic damage as well. Everything on Malphite does magic damage. Some people might be wondering, well, why aren't you just building him full AP? Malphite is, he does a lot of damage as full AP, I will admit it, but the problem with full AP Malphite is he dies very quickly, and a full tank Malphite like this build will keep you alive and killing people just as much damage over time because you would just never die. So that's what we're going to use it for, and it helps your team out better in the long run. Going to pick up a kill on Rengar and get an assist on Annie, and we're going to chase after this Lee Sin, but he is going to get away. So finally starting to get into some fights now. We'll get to see some more footage coming in now and not just farming, since laning phases are pretty much over. Top tower down, bottom towers are down, and our mid tower is finished as well. But we do have that Sunfire Cape, which I did mention is a very good first item. It is probably what you're going to want. Now, because of their Annie being so fed, I am going to have to get some magic resist this game. And there's a couple different ways to do this. Now, I know some people who are true Malphite fans are going to be like, I think you needed more armor. But we're going to talk about why you can't just stack armor and that's it. Because as much as it helps with some of your damage, in the long run, the more armor you stack, the less it scales in resisting damage. Damage doesn't just flat scale and keep scaling consistently. As you get more of it, it won't give you as much resist overall. So that's something to remember. You don't need to keep stacking something if you're already resisting 75% of that damage. It's not going to help you much more. So picked up, I think, a kill. Did we pick up a kill? No, we picked up some assists and got into a little bit of a fight there. We did escape barely with our life, but we are going to need some kind of magic resist, though, this game because of Annie and Ezreal's kind of hybrid damage. So we just have to look out for that. So we are going to get a little bit of magic resist, as you can see, with the new item introed in the game. We'll get to build that towards something in a second. Here we're going to help Vayne, and Vayne's going to knock him away. We are going to pick up an assist on that and then kill Annie real quick before she tries to come in and blow someone up real quick, because that's what she was going to try to do, is get in there and finish somebody off. So kind of got in the way and luckily picked up a kill and an assist, so that's going to just totally help us out as we build, and we'll try to tank carry our way through this game. So we have a little bit of magic resist now, like I said, which we do need. You can't just forget about it. If you do, then their AP caster is just going to murder you. So just pay attention to that. A couple more assists there. Going to have to speed up some of this footage because this is a long game. And now it's time to die, actually, because we're going to get kited, which is unfortunate. So, but once we're back at base, we'll be able to continue the build as normal, or since we're dead. And now, the next few items you can get on Malphite, I'm a big fan over one of these items than the other, just because it gives you health. I know a lot of people always ask, which one's better, Randuins Omen or a Frozen Heart? Both of them have their place. Both of them are really good. I personally like Omen just a little bit more because of the health, which is involved with it. So we have a Giant's Belt right now. The other nice thing about it is that scales with your passive, so you get a bigger shield from having more health. So that's one reason, since the Frozen Heart's not going to help you out as much there, and that's just part of that item. So we are going to, you know, just, I like Omen a little bit more now. If you don't want to do that, or you want to get that and Frozen Heart, you could do that, but after that, you really don't need much more armor items. That's a lot. So getting into a little bit of fight in mid, they just murdered Karma real fast. But we're going to turn on alt them so they stay in the Ziggs alt, and now we're going to do plenty of damage. Once again, they're sitting by me in my Sunfire Cape, and they are just, you know, taking damage that way. Unfortunately, I'm going to get kicked by Lee Sin and kicked away, so going to try to move in here as Annie picks up a double kill. I'm going to move back at them as Vayne's here and try to help take out Udyr, but now he's going to try to get away and slow me down and kite me back and forth. And now I have to go help get rid of Annie, as she's going to kill Vayne and stun me, but luckily I'll be able to catch up to her once Tibbers gets out of the way and then smash the ground. So we at least killed Vayne and shut her down, but unfortunately we got kited really well and stunned really well and kicked really well, so good job enemy team for being annoying and not letting me kill everyone, which is what I wanted to do. So we're continuing with the build, with that Omen. We picked up the Warden's Mail portion of it. Good part of it. I like it a lot, and it's a good item. It's going to give you 70 armor and 500 health, and that's why it's good. We like that health. Also, when people do attack you, it is going to slow them, and their attack speed by 15%. Their attack speed by 15% and their movement speed by 10% for 1 second. So if people are attacking you, they're just going to slow themselves down in lots of different ways. So that's just something to pay attention to. Now here, Rengar's going to ultimate to get away. Luckily, I'm like, is he going to be tricky? Let's go see if he's going to be tricky. So we're going to go back and check this bush. And, in fact, we will find him trying to go back. So we will finish him off real quick because he needs to die. Don't be tricky with me. I will ult you for that. So, picked up the kill, and we can continue farming and going on with the build. So, let's go ahead and talk about Masteries real quick. There's a few different ways you can do this. If you want to go with the tanky tree, which is what I highly recommend, you're going to go with like a 9-21-0. 21 in the offense, you know, or 21, sorry, in the defense to get nice and beefy. Or if you want to be weird like me sometimes, I'll just go with 0-30-0 page and just get ridiculously tanky. So that is just another thing to remember if that's what you want to do. And like I said, tanky Malphite is where it's at. You live so long, you're just going to be in every fight for so long, and helping your team out, it's a lot better than AP Malphite. So, going to get into a little bit of a fight here. They're trying to move in. I'm going to ult a couple of them under that tower and get rid of Annie. We need to eliminate her as fast as we can because she is the annoying one on their team. They're not really doing too much damage to me, as you can tell, and they definitely don't really want to fight me, so that is definitely a good sign that you are getting tanky enough as Malphite if you can basically just keep running at them and they just do not want to fight you in any way. So we're going to actually head over here to Baron and try to do one of these real quick since we have an advantage with the whole Annie is dead, and that is a lot of their damage. So we're going to go ahead and keep doing this, and after that I think we'll get to go back to base, maybe push. Let's see what we do. I can't remember exactly. Oh, trying to push a little bit. And I think we are going to find them. Here they all come, but Annie's back up. We have to once again focus her as she drops everything on Vayne really fast. So I'm stunned for a moment, but we got to move towards Annie and force her out of the fight and or kill her. But Lee Sin will kick me over that wall, so I got to move back in here, ult her, and kill her to get rid of Annie. Like I said, she is the problem most of the time on the team. And now we got all types of weird stuff happening. Ezreal, I believe, is going to get away. I think the rest of them will escape too. Udyr keeps escaping with hardly any life, but that is going to happen. People will escape. We'll chase them though. We'll give them a run for their money. We're tanky Malphite. Nobody's going to hurt us, or at least it's going to take a lot of people to hurt us. So back at base though, we're going to finish off the Omen and we're going to finish off the Spirit Visage. At this point, I would say that's kind of your prime example of your build. If the game is still continuing, obviously, which ours is, we'll get to talk about more, but those 3 items, plus whichever boots you have picked up, are kind of be your main part of your build. It's going to give you a lot of armor between those two, and you'll have enough magic resist that it's going to help you out in that aspect as well. So just something to remember, if that's as far as you get. Those are kind of your 3 main items for tanky Malphite. Now, at this point in the game, I am kind of carrying for our team, because it's tanky Malphite. He doesn't die, and he kills things because he hurts. So we're going to start to actually build a little bit of AP, but we're not going to go full AP. It's just going to kind of round us out fairly well. So we did pick up a Blasting Wand the last time we were back at base, and that will build into something in a second, and we'll go over that when we get to it. We're going to get into a little bit of a fight. I think I actually am going to die in this one because they do all focus me fairly quick, or at least I keep them peeled. And he gets an amazing stun off. I give her that, but we're going to go ahead and kill her, all 4 of these guys over here, while they all focus Udyr. I'm going to get kicked into the tower and kind of tank those 3/4 for a little bit. Try to get away, but the Ignite is going to kill me. So came out okay in that fight. It was a 2 for 2 so far, but we did get rid of Annie, which was important to get rid of. So we're back at base at this point because we're dead, and that's what you do when you die. You go back to base. And we're going to buy the Abyssal Scepter is what we're working towards. I don't have enough gold, I don't think, for it. Maybe we will. I don't remember. We'll see. Anyways, I mostly have it. Apparently I'm just standing still because why wouldn't I go AFK for a minute? Professionals go AFK. JK. Just kidding. No, but we do have the Abyssal Scepter now, and that's going to help us out. So what that's going to do, in case you don't know, it's going to give us some ability power, which will help with all of our abilities and scaling with damage, so that'll help us there. It'll give us a little bit more magic resist, which right now, that's about the only thing hurting me, because at this point in the game, I believe you're basically negating 75%, or maybe even a little more, of all physical incoming damage. So we're really tanky with that, and that's why you don't really need to keep stacking armor just needlessly. It gets to a point where you don't need it because it's just almost a waste at that point. So start to pick up a few other items that'll help round you out. This way we pick up a little bit more magic resist, which now will be resisting about 68-ish% of all magic damage coming in, and now we'll be giving them more damage. And then we also do have that unique aura, which is going to reduce the magic resist of nearby enemies by 20. So whenever I'm around them, Sunfire Cape will hurt them for more, and just all of my abilities along with others. So that is something we're going to deal with. Vayne's going to get picked on here. We're going to go ahead and move in and ult them. Like I said, we have to get rid of Annie. She is going to go into stasis real quick, but I'm going to stand right next to her and kill her again because she is the problem on their team, or at least the biggest problem because of her bursty damage. And then assist with everyone else here. Get kicked again by Lee Sin, and we're going to work on picking up another kill on Renga, and then retreat because we got very, very low. But that's what happens when you're a tank. Luckily, they're focusing me and letting the rest of the team live, so that definitely helps us out. Now, at this point in the game, there are many different ways to finish out the build. And we can talk about, let's talk about 3, maybe 4 items I would highly recommend to finish it out. I'm going to go for a little bit more AP, but I'm going to help the team with more crowd control and with more armor for myself, which will help for some abilities, and then a little bit of AP. And this is going to be the Iceborn Gauntlet, so that'll help us out when we're fighting in team fights. And like I said, get a little bit of AP, get more armor, get a little bit of cooldown reduction and mana, so very helpful item. That's what we're building towards right now. Now, if you wanted to come back to life, because everybody seems to be getting Guardian Angels, obviously a Guardian Angel will help you. You'll get armor and magic resist, both of those helping you stay tanky, and then you'll get to come back to life, which is, you know, very nice to have. Not gonna say anything bad about that. And then finally, if they want you to get a Locket of the Iron Solari, because somebody on your team needs to get one, you can always get that one. And then, like I said, Frozen Heart. If you need a Frozen Heart because you need a Frozen Heart, get a Frozen Heart. You guys know the stats of it. If you don't, go read over Frozen Heart and go ahead and do that. We got to kill Ash again, or not Ash, Annie there because, like I said, Annie's the problem. Kill her fast. Get rid of her. As for the runes, few different versions, but you can go with magic penetration marks, you can go with armor seals, magic resist per level glyphs, and then either movement speed quintessences, which I believe I took this game, or you can go with AP if you just want a little early AP. That will help you out in lane just a little bit. So, but like I said, we're not going full AP Malphite. There's no reason to do it. We want to help the team, but we killed Ezreal there, and there is the unconditional surrender as we catch up in this game. But that's going to be GG, and if you have any questions, put them in the comments below, and I'll just see all of you in the next build video. Ori safe. We're going to keep putting little stuns on this Renekton, try to keep him off of her. Now Shen's going to taunt almost all of them, I think, and MF's going to ult in, and I'll grab a few and stun them as well. So we're going to luckily clean them up quick